So those who just joined us, I'm Cliff Hill from Ectron. We're sponsoring the Content Theatre. We're just at the back there. We provide a web content management platform used by these brands here and many others, of course. But it's my duty to introduce Danny Denhard from Traffic Optimizer, who's going to talk about content marketing in 2014.
Perfect. Thanks. Hi guys. I'll start off with a little stat that content marketing budget spend rose to £42.9 billion in 2013. That's an incredible amount of money, and if anyone's from an agency, they'll be rubbing their hands right now. So a little intro to me. I'm at Danny Denhard. I'm the only Danny Denhard in the world, so if you want to abuse me online, just look for me there. Here are the things that I've done, the following things that I've done. So when I started out, I was a painter decorator. I went into bar management. That wasn't particularly fun. I spent a lot of time on social media and creating frameworks for agencies. I've spent 11 years it'll be my 12th year soon in SEO, which is pretty much the bread and butter for the internet now. Most of my time's been spent in management. I think we've all encountered a bit of politics along the way, but always content in any form that I can win with. So when I started out, it was very different to how it is now. But if I'll go through the next following slides and hopefully give you some ideas of what's going to happen in 2014. So my CV in short, I worked for an online computer store. I went in-house and worked at a mortgage company. That was particularly interesting. Started at 260 people and slowly redundancies kicked in and went down to 18. I then went in the agency side into pharmaceutical, which you can't do any content marketing. Which is slightly changing now. More recently, I went as head of product as a large agency, which basically meant producing framework, introducing different products and diversification. And my previous role was actually in-house at vouchercodes.co.uk. That's the green site that saves you money, if anyone's wondering which one that is. And today, well, as of the 2nd of December, I'm actually going to Traffic Optimizer, which is a boutique digital agency, and I'll be Operations Director helping diversify the product and really pushing international growth. So what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd break some silos, because I know a lot of people only think that content marketing is of three things. So if I list off a load of different content marketing types, I think it will apply to all of your businesses, especially if you're B2C or B2B. So the usual ones that everyone can do are articles and newsletters. Something that's been saturated to hell is infographics. I'm still a big fan, and B2C is a big area which you can use infographics. Video, Steve from the previous presentation did a great job highlighting how good video is at getting a message out there. And apps, so whether it's an Android app, Facebook app, iPhone app, or a Windows 8 app. Onto the more boring things that will probably resonate with a few guys in here are the white papers and ebooks. Some of the most successful content marketing I've put out are actually the boring ones, so the white papers and ebooks. So they'll get a lot of shares, and also if you use influencers, you can get a lot out of them and their powerful network. Three of the other things that people forget are testimonials, webinars, and podcasts. I think 2014 is going to be a big year for podcasts and things that are more arrow related. So things that you can listen to will be more and more important, I think, in 2014. Something like CloudShare or Mixcloud are two platforms that a lot of people don't really utilise yet. Some of the more interesting ones, so competitions. Something I say is beware of the online comper. There are hundreds of thousands of these buggers that get around everywhere. So if you're lucky enough to do a competition and seed it out, just beware that you'll get the same people over and over again that enter. You'll have widgets. Obviously, they come in multiple formats now. bespoke images. So I think a lot of people have seen the Oreo example from the Super Bowl, and more recently the Xbox One example. Landing pages, I think everyone here can probably create a landing page. And something that I think is actually content marketing is an advert. A really good advert, which I'll come on to, will actually work really, really well for you. So my theories, sorry if they're a little bit small for some people, the deck will be available afterwards. So my theories are great content always works. However boring your niche is, if you can get great content out there and the right eyeballs, they will share it and it will do well. You need to create content for people, not for search engines. I've been in SEO 11 years. Trust me when I say, just write content for people, because next year, like, computers are much smarter and spiders and bots are much smarter. You have to understand TV to understand quality content. If you don't watch a lot of TV or films, you don't understand what works, how do you know to appeal to a mass demographic? If it doesn't pass the mum test, it definitely won't work. My mum is probably my biggest fan and my worst critic. So if I'm doing something and I want to share it, I tend to send it to my mum, believe it or not, at 31 years old, and she'll tell me whether it's good or bad. If you can't explain your content within a tweet, so 120 to 140 characters, I guarantee you won't be able to translate that into the market that you're trying to go into. So in 2014, I think marketers or digital marketers have to be kings of content, queens of data, chiefs of engagement, that will be one for the social people and the SEOs in the room. Leaders of common sense. I think that's something that a lot of people lack now, especially with social media and SEO, and the demand for real-time information. And presidents of user signals. A lot of people that are into search here will probably resonate a lot more than some people that don't deal with SEO. So if you're still not sold on content, I've got a few examples for you, or companies that you guys might remember or recognise. Red Bull. Not everyone has £800 million budget for this, but Red Bull are actually a content marketing company that so happen to produce soft drinks now. Coca-Cola. They're actually in 2014, they predict that they're going to be releasing cultural context content, which means it has to apply to very specific people and have to have real affinity towards the brands and advertising that they're putting out. Coca-Cola have actually invested huge amounts of resource into recruitment of people of the creative type. So rather than working with agencies, they're trying to keep things in-house, which will resonate more with, I think, with the brands and the consumers. TED, I think we've all watched the TED video, regardless of how good or bad they are. TED produces some quality content for free, and also if you're a premium user, you'll get a great deal of content. So it doesn't have to be expensive, but these are all companies that push out great content. LinkedIn. Surprisingly, I think a lot of people don't realise the power of LinkedIn. They actually released something called Today, which is their content-based proposition that actually offers out content from influencers. They've recently renamed it Pulse because of branding opportunities. They've also got an app called Pulse, which pushes out content depending on your demographic or your requirements. So if you wanted to know more about content marketing, you could select it from there, and it will send you information every day or every time you open the app. And they also bought SlideShare, which I think is a really underused platform and something everyone can use. So if you've got a presentation, internal or external, and you feel it resonate with an audience, you can always upload to SlideShare for free. It's also got quite a good stats package, so I know a lot of people want to know about ROI and KPIs. Look at SlideShare. Nike, they're an amazing content company, and not just because their brand is really strong, but they're just a huge company that do really, really well when they talk to people. And John Lewis, I think we've all seen the advert. They do integrated marketing particularly well, and they've done particularly well when it comes to actually marketing the content. On the weekend that the advert went out between X Factor, they actually had 800,000 clicks for a paid, through sponsored tweet. So it shows you how integrated they have to be to get the message out there. But what I think everyone knows this advert, and if you don't, I think you'll probably be bombarded until Christmas Day with it. And if you don't have to take my word, Bill Gates in 1996 said, content is where I expect much of the real money will be made online, just like it is with broadcast. If Bill Gates, who's a multi-billionaire, has said that, and I'm standing here 17 years on, I'm pretty sure it still applies today, and probably more so next year. And one company that I think everyone understands is Google. Google actually have always been a content company. They've always wanted to be an organizer or a librarian of data. I think what a lot of you don't realise is Google in 2014 are going to switch between a search engine to an actual decision engine and an answer engine, and that's to display the best content and the best results for anyone. And that's going to be ultra personalised. So 40% of users actually get a personalised result set when they search. And there's a question that keeps popping up, and there's an e-consultancy article last week, which questions, is 2014 year content marketing grows up? The quick and easy answer is yes, but I think for a lot of people it'll be where content marketing really comes in, and you can really own and really get some real return and investment into it. There's a typo on this slide, so I personally think it's not going to go anywhere. So content marketing is always going to be around, and in 2014, I think your budget should probably increase to 2 to 4 times the amount it is now to really to resonate with the audience that you want to hit. And it'll definitely be more competitive. So something that we've all noticed in the last sort of 6 to 12 months of how competitive your space is and how much more competitive it will become. I know it's a little bit scary, but if I'll try and put your minds at ease, maybe we'll see a little less of really bad content. So I don't know if anyone's sworn yet, but I will. Shit infographics. There are loads and loads of really bad infographics out there. I've probably been responsible for a few out there. They're expensive to make unless you do them in-house. If you don't have a seeding agency, they don't particularly work that well. What I would say is infographics work particularly well in B2B, and they also work well in niche markets. So if you're basically you want to get really good information out there, they're still quite a good tool to use. A little bit less of boring white papers. I'm one that uses white papers quite a bit, but I think a lot of people understand that they're actually a sales tool or a pitch to people. And I think what will happen is there'll be less boring white papers and more interesting ones. So ZMOT, which is Google's Zero Moment of Truth, is quite a good white paper to have a look at. I think there's going to be a lot less self-promoting case studies. So everyone writes a case study to promote what they do. I think the whole industry, most industries now, will need a case study which is better for their market than actually for themselves. And I can tell Forrester reports are quite expensive to make, but they do hit a really good audience. And I think what we'll actually see in coming weeks, especially in Q1 of 2014, is irrelevant generic ads. I think a lot of people understand that they can hit a message and a bigger audience with a generic ad, but 2013 has been a year of personalisation and personalised content. So I think what we'll actually see is a lot less generic ads and really more specific timeline-based ads that are really specific to me. So if I've bought from Adidas, I'm not going to be bombarded with Adidas products. I think I'll be targeted more on more interesting products, more interesting competing products, and trying to get you back to the website. And there may be a little bit more of the following. As Steve said, the last speaker, compelling video. I think video is quite cheap to make, and the $1 million shaving company is a great example. I think everyone's got a smartphone and everyone's got a tablet now, so most people can create good video, and I think that's going to get cheaper and actually better for everyone. Targeted social content. So Oreo is the best example, I think, of anyone in the market. Kit Kat's quite good as well. So I think 2014 will be image first, led social. So rather than having loads and loads of blue links and a lot of text, I think a lot of the time we'll get an image first. So I don't know if you've noticed the new Twitter app's actually showing and previewing Twitter pictures. That's actually led to an 18% increase in click-throughs and views for people. So I think a lot of the time it will be about native browsing. Short and to the point graphics. Maybe not infographics, but actual graphics. People that do particularly well in this are BT Sports, a UFC, and actually Arsenal Football Club. They produce really, really nice graphics that represent the result or a fight result, etc. So, like I said, they can be really small and templated, but they do actually work. Instant reviews and previews. I think everyone knows that bloggers have got quite a lot of power in 2013. In 2014 they will. So I think we'll see a lot of instant reviews. People that take to Vine, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook to record a review and actually post instantly. And Facebook Open Graph, the new annoying search box at the top, that'll tell you what your friends have done and what restaurants they've liked. That'll actually come and play a lot more. And people will want to know where I've gone to eat or where you've gone to eat. And then the last one for targeted social is ultimately personalised targeted content. So what's relevant to me probably definitely isn't relevant to you guys. A lot of you guys probably don't like the UFC and football like I do, but I think what will happen is we'll get far more better content delivered straight to us. It'll be pushed to us rather than we have to go and look for it. So what else will change? I'll rush through this because I'm conscious of time for everyone. Content consumption in 2014. Mobile first digestible media. What we all do, and especially with emails now, is we open our emails on our mobile phones. What we don't actually do is we don't sit down at a desk and really digest what we're reading. We do it on the move, and we do it on the commute. So I think what we'll find is, like this little baby here, she knows how to operate a phone probably better than I do. If you've ever seen an 18-month-year-old, they'll be playing with an iPad, and I think that really shows what we've been, as humans, what we do now. Native browsing, something like Facebook have changed, Twitter have also changed very recently, and what Google's actually changing as well is the way we consume content and the way they want to keep us within their platform. So how they want to keep you on Google, on Twitter and on Facebook. Social media, new and old. So everyone's favourite or most hated Facebook and Twitter. The picture's not great, but you can see that a lot of companies now are using images first to really push across their point or make you click on the blue link. We've then got image-based social. So we've got Instagram, Flickr and Imager. I don't know if any of you have used Imager or Flickr lately, but Imager actually has more page views than the New York Times. So it sort of shows you how powerful image-based content is. Flickr, which is Yahoo owned, is really becoming a more powerful outlet, so something to really think about. Instagram is owned by Facebook, as most of you probably know, but what I'd say is Instagram needs more of the 1.2 billion users from Facebook onto the platform to make it work. And then Michael Kors ad, I don't know if anyone of you saw it, was particularly strong and went down really well on Instagram. Tumblr, that's actually one of is Yahoo's biggest purchase in recent time. I think Miss Myers will probably push this out a lot harder and a lot stronger next year. Think of the GIFs and the interactive content that works on Tumblr and try and apply that to you guys. More niche, I'm coming on to more niche things now. Reddit and StumbleUpon. You know, I said there's an audience for every piece of content that you have. Reddit and StumbleUpon have paid niches, so even if you've got the most boring content, you can pay to get people to see it. Pinterest, only 2% of the UK use it. I'm actually a surprisingly UK Pinterest influencer, which basically meant I went to a party. It's really good, it's visual, and a lot of companies in the US use it. Martha Stewart actually gets more traffic from Pinterest than she does from search. And everyone's hated social network is Google+. Google need to make this work, so definitely try and go there and leverage the communities that are on there. And then some very alternative ones. Instant Messenger. WhatsApp gets 350 million shares per day. If you look on BuzzFeed, BuzzFeed have an integrated WhatsApp button that will share a story straight into WhatsApp. It sort of shows you how powerful it is. I read a stat recently that surprised me. It was that 97% of Spain, or Spanish users, have WhatsApp installed on their mobile phone. So it's something that's definitely really powerful. Snapchat, worth 3 billion apparently, has 400 million snaps shared per day. If you can get on there and be an early adopter of content pushing, I guarantee you'll actually come out of the end quite well. Some more really obscure ones. WeChat is the largest Japanese IM. That's actually got, I think, over 100 million users and has only been out for a little while, so pay attention because it will probably come over here. BBM got 21 million downloads, although everyone says BlackBerry's dying, got 21 million downloads of the weekend of the release. So it sort of shows you how powerful that can be. And Facebook Messenger. Other things to think about are content app readers. So when you've got an app and you go on your iPhone or Android device, you've got things like Zite, Flipboard, Pulse, and Material, which basically push the content that you like to your phone at any time that you want to digest it. And it's all done in time order. So it's ultra relevant to you. SlideShare I covered earlier, it's my favourite. BuzzFeed, I know it does some amazing content, but also does the 27 things only curly-haired people would associate themselves with. It actually drives a huge amount of Facebook traffic and seen a huge amount of social content. Something that a lot of you guys might not have seen is Us versus Them. It's a new platform, very much like BuzzFeed, and it's something you guys can have a look for. And two things to bear in mind is the PS4 and Xbox One are amazing content and entertainment systems. So it's something you guys can really home in on and target. Because I know my 23-year-old little sister, who spends more time on her Xbox than she does on any other platform. And rushing through these, please don't forget text message or email. And then something to think about is Google got an app called Google Search or Google Now, and it will actually give you the information before you search it, so it predicts what you need before you want it. It's actually free and built into the search app if anyone's got it. And two, very alternative viewing. The Samsung Watch, I don't know if anyone seen it, it's the Note. I can't see this taking off, but I've been wrong before. And Google Glass, it's the prototype that Google have pushed out. They'll give you information, so you say, OK, Glass, and it will then go and search the internet or anything online. So things to consider in 2014 and your content options. Organic content, paid content. Don't underestimate paid. Paid's going to be a huge driver in 2014. Influencer content, that means getting an influencer to share your information or be a part of your campaign. Oprah Winfrey actually turned down an Obamacare tweet because she didn't believe in it. Bloggers, I'm not always the biggest fan. This is my girlfriend's site. She gets sent some amazing products for free or to review it. Really look at the influential bloggers and have a budget to seed with them. I call them the most integrated marketers that you'll find because they understand their channels and how to market themselves. The bread and butter internet, search engines, I went for Bing just to confuse you, and above the line. So above the line is the most expensive, but actually gets you results and will do well. So the takeaways. Ensure your content is mobile optimized, viewable, shareable, actionable and rememberable. I made the last word up, but I'd definitely say if you're on a mobile device, that's where you're going to be digesting all of your media next year. Make sure that you can view it and you can share it. Things to remember for you guys. You compete with your friends' babies, breaking news and food. So you really need to make your content stand out. Whatever your content, there is always an audience. You just have to find them. Always have a seeding budget. Think of it like this: if you wouldn't pay to get people to see it, would you really appreciate it? And is it good enough? Attention spans are so short. I realise I've been talking for 25 minutes, but to grab attention, you have to get them in 3 seconds. And that really shows with Vine and Twitter now. And something for most of you, write for your audience and not your boss. Your boss isn't your audience. And last takeaways for you. Ensure all your team work on the content and have got the ability to reuse it. The number of times I've reused content and got better results from it is insane. Data will help turn marketing efforts into a revenue source or stream. So data now is going to be really, really important. Think of your content as stock. Don't just invest in one. If you can't make your content mobile friendly and in one scroll, chances are it will probably fail. And an influencer or celebrity might get you eyeballs, but doesn't make them customers. I can tell you from a Towie tweet, got 10,000 visits to one of my previous employers, and it actually converted to no sales. So just be careful on who your influencers are. And thank you, basically. If you guys want questions, or if you want to tweet me or Google Plus me, there are my details. Or if you want to drop me an email at my new company, there you go.
Okay, thanks, Danny. Danny, he'll hang around by the VIP lounge, so if you have any questions, just grab him there. Thank you.